Hi, I'm Kimaya Bage and I welcome you all to the 12th episode of Bharat Talks. Today, we are going to delve into a topic that is both exciting and confusing: maths. Before I get into it, let's tune something out. We have all experienced that feeling whenever we look at any math problem, going ये ऐसा क्यों है, ये ऐसा क्यों है, ये ऐसा क्यों है, ये जैसा भी है ऐसा क्यों है. What are the basic problems? Let's break it down. One is a very traditional, very classic, one fits all kind of teaching approach. One is, having no math labs, no hands-on learning experience, and 82% of students in from class 7 to class 10th have this inherent fear of maths itself. But there is one hope, one promising solution: a mathematics laboratory, which not only transforms abstract concepts into a much more physical, much more tangible, activities, but it also enhances and encourages students to try and generate interest in maths itself. Today we are speaking with guests who have conducted studies and explored how math labs can actually enhance and generate interest in students. We have Mr. Tapikar with us. Kedar sir is currently working as an administrative officer in Ghokhle Institute, Pune. He has done MSc, MA in education and has a diploma in school management. He has over 30 years of experience, 15 years of experience in field of education with different institutions such as Shantilal Mutha Foundation, Shamchi Foundation. His previous assignment as assistant director in Shikshan Prabodhani at Maharashtra Education Society, Pune, has been conducting studies with different educational institutions on educational tools. Suat Learning Aid is a startup in the field of EdTech. Suat is an innovative step towards math teaching. This startup has designed and developed many unique math apparatuses for activity-based learning of math concepts. Already exciting, right? Our session for today is exactly about the study of effective learning enhancement by using Suat Math Lab apparatuses. Kedar sir, I would like to understand from you, what was your overall experience of conducting this study, and how was it different from the studies that you have conducted earlier?
Earlier, of course, we conducted few studies, but it was mostly oriented towards teachers or the performance of teachers or performance of teachers in the classrooms or the response of students to the various pedagogical practices adopted by the teachers. But now this particular study is directly concerned with the students and directly concerned with the outcomes or cognitive outcomes, achievements of the students. So this study was really exciting. We had an opportunity to work directly with the students, and that too through teachers. So that was something unique or something different for this particular study, which we really did not do in my previous tasks or in my earlier research studies.
While conducting this study, what were the challenges that came to you and how did you overcome them, or what did you think इसको कैसे solve कर सकते हैं?
So first of all, the duration which was expected, duration in which the study to be completed, that was very little. It was just 3 to 4 months in total. So we had to complete all our research designs, all our pre-work, homework for the research, and actually the implementation or execution of the research at the schools. So all these has to be completed in 3 to 4 months. Secondly, various other factors which are necessary to be controlled in any kind of research. So we had very little scope to control all other extraneous factors which may affect particular study. But again, we decided to go with that, and we have a disclaimer that these particular factors are not really controlled in the particular study. Thirdly, we have selected 22 schools from the Telangana Mehboob Nagar district. and these 22 schools are again in some remote places of that district. So again, reaching out to those schools in those school periods, school working days, was again a challenge. Conducting the tests, collecting the data, maintaining the confidentiality, maintaining the secrecy of the records, everything was challenge. But fortunately, we could make it all, and we did it. Rupesh ji might have something else to
Yeah,
add
I
in.
mean, in terms of challenges to get the schools and everything, I can recall. I mean, we had to start with the who is going to fund this project. I mean, it requires so many number of laboratories to be installed in the schools, and so we initially explored funding partners. We also approached and they although liked it, but then they had a long process to approve a project, so it was taking time. So finally Sri Ram Charitable Trust itself has decided to fund it from their foundation, and we are very thankful to them. So that problem when solved, then we had to actually deal with the logistics part, because that was in remote area. Some of the language issues, that some of the teachers could only speak Telugu, or maybe in some of the schools it was the Urdu medium schools. But the Sri Ram Charitable Trust had a team in the districts which was already working with the schools, and their representatives have done a fantastic job to be able to do all these things, and wherever required, I mean, visiting the schools, talking to the principals. I myself had in the initial stage visited schools. We met around 10 principals and then convinced them, and when they understood the concept, I mean, they were quite interested and excited to have these labs and conduct these studies. So it was overall a bit challenging in the initially, but with the support of Sri Ram Charitable Trust, I mean, it became quite easy.
Correct.
So, what was the methodology for you to conduct this study? What all
Yeah.
tools did you use so that you could get your data?
Yeah, well, as far as research design of this project is concerned, this is particularly a typical action research type of study, or a quasi experimental kind of study, wherein we conducted some pre tests and post tests. It is also called as pre post study also. And the main intention was to identify the cause and effect relationship. So the design was framed in such a way that there will be an intervention of mathematics lab, or the experiences or the experimentations of mathematics lab, and we had a pre-test before the intervention, and we had a pre-test or sorry, a post-test after the intervention. And we tried to look out the difference or a difference in the achievement due to the intervention of mathematical lab, uh, uh, by analyzing the data, by analyzing the scores of the tests, etc. So this was in nutshell, roughly or broadly speaking, was the design of the study. So uh, what we did, there are some 12, 13 odd mathematical apparatus designed by SUARD Maths Lab, which is again available on the website and everywhere. And those apparatus are linked to various mathematical concepts, and these mathematical concepts are spread over the curriculum right from 5th to 8th grade, like. So we decided some selected mathematical concepts from standard 6th to standard 8th, and again we shortlisted finalized selective concepts and mapped those concepts with the SUART mathematical labs, or mathematical instruments or apparatuses. So again, the idea was that that particular mathematical concept can be better understood by using the specified SUART maths lab. Again, the design was 12 mathematical 22 mathematical concepts, some 7 8 mathematical apparatus, 22 schools, and around 1000 students. So this equation has to be established, that too in 3 months.
Yeah.
So we implemented this design, and we conducted all what was expected. and the results are in front of all of us.
Okay, so like you said that you had collected a few data, and definitely it was a big task trying to collect the data over just a 3 months of time. But can you explain in a little layman language what data that was and what was
So
it
basically,
basically?
it is said that, I mean, these current reforms in the curriculum or current reforms in the assessment practices, it is said that the learning outcomes of any concept has to be tested or has to be assessed. So we roped in various mathematical experts, and we designed the pre-tests and post-tests
Yeah.
of 10 questions each, and all
Okay.
those 10 questions were aligned to the expected learning outcome of that particular mathematical concept. And uh, we conducted those pre-tests and post-tests, and the students were expected to respond to or solve the problems or solve the examples or questions in those particular tests. And pre-test and post-test were equally, I mean, they had equal weightages. So the scores were, I mean, marks obtained in those exams, uh, it was very easy to compare those marks, and that's how we proceeded further.
So were there some good significant changes in like after
Yes,
they
of
had
course,
done?
there is. I mean, that's the result of this
Yeah.
particular study. Again, I mean, I'll have to comment through some statistical jargons, you may say, but the scores of the pre-tests and the scores of the post-tests, if you compare, it's a term which is called as mean of the scores.
Okay.
So you can easily mark out, if you go through that report of the research study, you can easily mark out that the mean score of the post test, I mean the test which was conducted after the intervention or after the experiences through of the maths lab, the mean scores are higher than the mean scores of the pre-test. So this itself proves that
Yeah.
the intervention of maths lab
Yeah.
was successful.
Right. Because I would also imagine the kids would be having a lot of fun while they were doing
Yes, it was.
things on the math
Correct.
lab itself. It
Correct.
looks very bright and very interactive.
Ah.
For Rupesh sir, I also have a question that as far as I know, you have met a lot of students, not only students, teachers, and school administrations for this SWOT Math Lab. So, what are their reactions to this Math Lab, and what do they expect from this product, basically?
Yeah, basically, I mean, in last 3 to 4 years, we have been meeting a lot of schools across India, and the reaction or the response has been very good. I mean, all the maths teachers are very much excited to see such kind of tools being available to them, because they found I mean, day to day teaching experience, some of the abstract concepts very difficult to teach, or which are difficult to, I mean, visualize for children. And for those kind of things, these apparatus, when children are working with their own hand in a group of four, I mean, it makes the learning process quite easy and simple. So that's been their response, and we have got a very good feedbacks from all over the schools wherever we have provided these labs. And a very very exciting thing that it's a new thing. In fact, we also got some of the feedbacks that they wanted things for a long time, and there was nothing available in the market like this. And so that was something which is quite satisfying, that there is a math lab or thing which is filling up the gap which is there in the market.
Correct.
So, because this also comes from a little bit of personal experience, that math, as I said earlier, was clearly a topic of a no. I would prefer not to do math coming back home. So, will this math lab help not only their experiences in school learning better, but they want to come home and try those concepts again, and willingly want to do math at home as well?
Yes, correct. Basically, I mean, you rightly said that maths or learning mathematics is really a challenge. I mean, it's not challenge only in India; it's a global challenge, and there is a lot of research mentioning various challenges in learning mathematics. So now, if you see or if you observe, the focus of last few years has changed from teaching to learning. So now, we have to promote learning instead of
Yes.
active teaching. So when we say we have to promote learning, it's all about experiential learning or activity-based learning or fun-filled learning or learning by doing, which is again the motto of SUART.
Yeah.
So this maths lab is centered around all these principles only. Again, as I said, there are various challenges in learning mathematics. There are so many, which are some of them are mentioned in our report also. And the solution to overcome these challenges, one of the most proven solution is mathematics lab.
Okay.
Use of mathematical manipulatives or teaching and learning materials or models,
Yes.
some physical things, which actually convert the abstract concepts into a concrete mathematical concept, which makes it easier for students to learn and understand.
Yes.
And not only to learn, but again to link all those mathematical concepts to their daily life.
Yes.
So as you asked, will they really enjoy when they come back to home?
Yeah.
Basically, mathematics is required when they come back home only. It's not required in the school. So all these, all these experiments, experiences, these mathematics labs, they are designed in such a way that the concept will be understood, concept will be learnt in a much better way. It will not be a rote teaching or rote learning as such, and they'll be able to apply that particular concepts somewhere else apart from the book,
Yes.
outside the exams.
Yes.
And that is nothing but the motto or intention of learning mathematics, and which is 100% would be served through these kind of solutions, which this is my understanding, this is my feeling. You can add some more on it if you want.
No, definitely. I mean, even in this study, after we asked for the inputs or feedback from the teachers, and they shared it that it was definitely much more stress relieving for
Yeah.
children also. I mean, that was one of the specific feedback we got from the Telangana schools, that children felt quite comfortable, and stress free learning environment was one of the prominent thing they could point out. So that is a evidence that yes, children are able to actually enjoy this kind of learning experiences.
Very.
And it's always
Yeah.
said that if you want to learn maths, you should enjoy maths.
Yes.
But it
Yes.
is very difficult to make it enjoyable.
Yes.
So mathematics labs or SUART mathematics labs bridges that gap.
Yeah.
It really makes mathematics enjoyable.
Enjoyable. Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know. It might be a very abstract thought in the future, but as it is this, if this is introduced to the regular curriculum, can it also be like, when in chemistry you have to have practicals, like, you have marks on practicals, you have to perform this, or for physics you have to perform this, and can there also be, rather than just exam and checking notebooks, practical exams for math as well?
Yes,
on the
yes, of
boards?
course. If you just go through this new education or national education policy, which was released 5 years back, it's no more new now. It's a national education policy in 2020, and the subsequent various documents related to that. One important document is National Curriculum Framework, which was again published in 2023. So all these documents say that this mathematics lab or such kind of what tools or remedies has to be a part of curriculum.
Yes.
And the assessment practices are expected to be reformed in such a way that the assessment is no more only a paper pen kind of test. So the assessment will also be a practical test.
Yes. As you also mentioned, the NEP. So basically, SWOT is sort of already trying to become a part of NEP, because it has a lot of practical based applications which help in enhanced learning of children itself.
Yes, correct.
Another question I think for SWOT itself is, and I would like to ask this to Rupesh sir, is that, do you think SWOT is on the path after this study you've conducted? It's on the path of what it started to achieve when you initially had this idea?
Yeah, I mean, before I answer that, I would also like to add to your previous question that can be a practical like chemistry. So what we understand is there are already practical marks for mathematics 30% for 10th, but unfortunately there is no such activities or apparatuses available for students to perform those practical. And but
Correct.
what we have found in last couple of years that some of the schools are effectively using it during their practical evaluation of the students. So they ask some activity to be done and students respond to the questions as a viva over the practical done. So that has actually started to work wherever schools have introduced it in their curriculum as a practical part. So the 30% marks weightage of the practical like physics, chemistry, it is there, and now they also have tools available for them to actually conduct it as a practical experience. To your second question, in fact, what I would like to share is when we started to work in the field and interact with the schools, we found that there is a very big gap today in our school systems or the learning or teaching of mathematics, and there is a vast scope for to work. Only mathematics is an area which can actually take next 20, 30, 40 years of so many people to make it more. So yes, the path we are in or the way we are able to progress definitely gives us that confidence that this is the very potential area to work with. And for all, I mean, we if we want to reach to small villages, and idea is to everybody should have these kind of tools for their learning. It's a huge task in our country, but at the same time we must appreciate the government's thinking and the efforts in this direction. Like last year PM Shri funds were launched to some around 14,500 schools across India, and there is a very specific emphasis on activity based learning in all subjects and mathematics labs. So we have started to see a lot of inquiries from schools, government schools in state governments and for central government schools like KV, in specific field that we want these apparatuses for our math lab purpose. So this is actually government is also creating those kind of things, avenues, and schools now have started to actually look at it how to, I mean, have, and there are very few apparatuses available in the market who are actually able to provide those opportunities of activities based learning. So that's where we feel that yes, we are very much on the right path. We have been continuously developing new apparatuses also. So when we started with 16, but now we have added couple of more and we have 20, and the work is continuing. So it's a right path, and quite satisfied to see that the response is very very positive from the academic faculties or the schools and institutions.
So when you did start with this project, with this startup itself, anything else you would expect from the government side that you thought would, okay, if I had this, it would have been better. ये और होता तो हमको और we could have done faster, or we could have reached this position faster.
Actually, first thing is I would like to say that the overall experience has been very positive. I mean, we started it, we did not have any background of business in the family or even the extended family, and when we got into this venture, we got, I mean, we used to learn the stories in the news about changing environment in India and government making things, but we actually experienced this thing in our journey, that all our compliances or the registrations parts, now it was faceless, everything was digital, and so we did not face any difficulty. And that's actually one of a very positive experience. We felt that yes, government has changed things in the ecosystem where people can actually start things. The second part is yes, even we are working largely with government schools. So we are working with Jawahar Navodaya, we are working with Kendriya Vidyalaya, and both these are government organizations. we got such a good response, and only on the merit of the product. We had no other, I would say not a single experience where we had any difficulty in getting our payments or anything. So this is clearly a thing that if you have a good product, you go, and then the system is working that way, that if that is available, the funds are available, they are going to implement it. So it's a very encouraging thing for any startups or any entrepreneurs, basically, to look at it. Where is a opportunity, you have a genuine product, it helps, and we should thank government for that. We have been attending some of the seminars where there are some startup support systems government are offering, and all the state governments and central governments have lot of schemes to encourage startups. There are some funding options, there are some subsidies provided. But yeah, what we felt that if government also has some policy that if startup does not need any support, but the product can be used by government, so there can be a thing where governments can actually not providing financial support or subsidies, but just provide some platform for them to use it and give a preference. So that way, that is the best encouragement for any startup, that government is the buyer. And if that can happen, I think we can actually reach every nook and corner of this country. And that's what we want, that okay, the product should be available to the, and that can also bring down the cost also, and the overall quality also can be when you have some volumes from the government kind of a setup. So that's only thing which can actually, not only to us, for it, it is true for any startup. Wherever government has that consumption, those startups can be supported that way. So basically, again, the today's session more focused on the study and the aspects, but then it is important to mention the support we got for this study from the Sri Ram Charitable Trust. So that's very encouraging, and we expect a lot of other NGOs who are working in the field of education can take up this kind of projects, and that can help us to spread this thing in the other areas of India also.
As we heard from the answers from the both of them, this current study has let us know that how MATLAB can be used to enhance the learning, general understanding of students for math as a concept. This not only will and reduces the unknown fear of math, but it also encourages students to take it up on their own voluntarily. And yes, it's a long drawn process to for every student to be able to be comfortable about math as a subject, but I believe with SUAT MATLAB this is possible, and I would like to wish SUAT all the best for the future endeavors, and so that they can make their MATLAB reach every school, and just encourage students to take math and enhance their experience for learning. Thank you.